Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be going over which character is the best choice for you from our 3.3 lineup, which is Hyacine, the Herta, Cipher, and Aglaea. Before we begin today's video, let me know which character you are personally the most excited for in version 3.3 or version 3.4. Lastly, if you enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe, hit the like button to support the video, and now let's get straight into it. To begin, let's go over Hyacine, who will be in the first half of version 3.3 alongside the Herta's rerun. Hyacine is an HP scaling Wind Remembrance character who focuses on healing allies, dealing damage with her memosprite Little Ica, and providing nice benefits for additional survivability and HP scaling characters, which we'll get into this shortly. Starting off with Hyacine's basic attack, Hyacine will deal damage onto a single enemy. Hyacine's skill will summon Little Ica and will provide healing for all allies based on her max HP. Hyacine's ultimate will summon Little Ica if Little Ica isn't already on the field, and provide healing for all allies as well as allow Hyacine to enter the after rain state for 3 turns, which the duration will decrease at the start of her turn and the after rain state will increase all allies' max HP. The max HP increase is beneficial for more survivability and increasing the damage potential of characters who scale off of HP. For example, characters such as Castress, Mighty, Blade, future HP scaling damage dealers, and so on. Regarding Hyacine's memo sprite Little Ica will not appear on the action order, rather during the after rain state. After Hyacine uses an ability such as her basic attacker skill, Little Ica will attack enemies afterwards, and the damage will be based on the amount of healing Hyacine and Little Ica have contributed for the team. Additionally, whenever allies have their HP reduced, then Little Ica will consume its own HP in order to give some HP back to that ally. Hyacine will also be able to cleanse a debuff from allies when she uses her skill and ultimate, and is able to deal a nice amount of damage herself in regard to Little Ica's damage potential. Which reminds me of how Lingsha can also contribute a nice amount of damage herself, which gives the benefit of a sustain for this team as well as a sub DPS, if you will. And Hyacine will be able to do this herself with her Memo Sprite's attacks. Hyacine will also be revolved around being a very fast sustain character, which allows her to have frequent turns when it comes to healing allies, Little Ica attacking enemies after Hyacine uses an ability, and much more. When it comes to Hyacine's kit, you'll want to take advantage of her ultimate for the after rain state in order to take advantage of the damage potential Little Ica can provide. And overall, Hyacine will be able to provide nice healing for the team, which can be useful in the case of just having a general healer to slot into teams, as well as providing damage potential from Little Ica as well. The max HP buff she'll provide from the after rain state will be very beneficial for HP scaling damage dealers. When it comes to team synergies, as mentioned, Hyacine will be able to nicely benefit damage dealers that scale off of HP due to her being able to increase the max HP of all allies during the after rain state from her ultimate. Castress will nicely be able to benefit from this in order to increase her damage potential further, and Castress will be able to take advantage of Hyacine's team heals in order to gain new Bud. Since Castress doesn't use skill points, this allows Hyacine to take advantage of more skill point usage, especially if the other allies on the team are using their basic attacks from time to time. You can use a team of Castress alongside 2 supports in Hyacine, which the supports can consist of Remembrance Trailblazer, Tribi, Ruame, Pela, and so on. You can consider dual DPS Castress teams, such as Castress with Blade or Castress with Mighty. Additionally, you can use Hyacine alongside a main DPS Blade or Mighty as well. When it comes to other teams aside from HP scaling, you can consider Hyacine as a flexible healer slot for teams, and while she won't be the best in slot for some teams, she could still be a pretty flexible option to slot in overall. As for Hyacine's banner, she'll have the 4 stars Misha, Serval, and Natasha. I'd say the 4-star options could be a bit better, but it can be a nice opportunity to get some eidolons on these 4 stars, especially if you are lacking them or if you're a newer player. If you already have these 4 stars maxed out, then you'll primarily just get more limited pulls through the currency you acquire by pulling 4 stars. As for Hyacine's overall value, for those lacking sustains, she'll be a good option when it comes to sustaining and even having sub DPS capabilities for the team, and she'll shine quite a lot alongside HP scaling damage dealers due to what she'll provide for them, the biggest example being Castress, especially for those that aren't the biggest fan of using Gallagher or Luocha, or if you would like to swap Gallagher or Luocha to your other team instead now, then that'll also be an option for you. As for Hyacine's light cone situation, it is worth noting she doesn't have too many options. However, you can use the free-to-play option, Memory's Curtain Never Falls from the Herta shop. Now for a rerun alongside Hyacine, it'll be the Herta. The Herta is an Ice Erudition character who revolves around being paired alongside another Erudition character, which will allow her to take advantage of her interpretation stack mechanic more effectively, gain energy faster for her ultimate, as well as provide the team buffs by having a secondary Erudition character on the team. Interpretation can stack up to 42, and teammates will be able to assist with stacking interpretation onto enemies by attacking them. Erudition characters on the team will be able to stack additional interpretation stacks onto enemies. And overall, when it comes to Herta's interpretation stacks, you'll want to get as close as possible to 42 stacks on an enemy when you use your enhanced skill, as each stack of interpretation will increase the damage multiplier, and this will actually further increase if you do have another Erudition character alongside Herta. And if the primary target's interpretation stacks are at 42, the ice damage dealt by Herta will increase by 50% until the end of the attack. Additionally, a nice perk Herta has within her kit is that at the start of each wave, 25 stacks of interpretation are applied to a random enemy, which this does prioritize elite enemies or above. When enemies with interpretation leave the field or are defeated, their interpretation stacks will actually be transferred to another enemy, once again prioritizing elite enemies or higher. Herta being able to inflict 25 stacks at the start of each wave heavily assists with getting closer to 42 stacks, and enemies that are defeated on their field, their stacks being able to transfer to another enemy is mentioned. This will also assist with getting closer to 42 stacks after your first enhanced skill that you use within each wave. As for how Herta gets her enhanced skill, she'll have to use her ultimate, which does have a hefty 220 energy cost. So while this energy cost is very high, this trace will allow teammates to actually help with regenerating energy for Herta, as every target attacked will regenerate 3 fixed energy for Herta, and you could do this for a maximum of 5 targets. This results in upwards to 15 fixed energy. Characters with high AoE attacking frequency will be able to nicely assist with generating energy for Herta, which can consist of course, the Erudition character alongside Herta, but also sustains that have high attacking frequency. For example, Lingsha, as she could take advantage of her skills, ultimates, follow-ups, and so on. Once you use Herta's ultimate, she'll advance herself forward by 100%, which allows her to immediately attack again, and her ultimate will grant her a stack of inspiration, which lets Herta now take advantage of her enhanced skill. Herta's attack will also increase after using her ultimate. It's also worth noting that for every stack of interpretation inflicted onto enemies throughout battle, Herta will gain 1 stack of the answer, which can stack up to 99 times, and every stack will increase her ultimate's damage multiplier by 1%. The answer stacks will remain for the entire battle. As for Herta's additional benefits, her trace from Beyond the Veil will increase all allies' crit damage by 80% if another Erudition character is on the team, and Herta herself, of course, can take advantage of this as well. Lastly, Herta's technique is nice for treasure hunting, as she'll reveal up to 3 basic treasures on the map, and her technique is also very nice for simulated universe as well, since she'll be able to inflict true damage onto enemies equal to a percentage of their HP, which can assist with making the mode a bit easier. Overall, when it comes to Big Herta's playstyle, she relies on team members to assist with giving her energy for her ultimate usage, as well as assisting with stacking interpretation onto enemies so that Herta is able to deal massive damage onto them with her enhanced skill. As for team synergies with the Herta, she could take advantage of very nice free-to-play options as well as premium options. As for free-to-play Herta teams, it'll consist of using her alongside Serval or Little Herta, Remembrance Trailblazer, and then a sustain of your choice, depending on who you have. Some favorable options though would be Lingsha, Wuhua, Aventurine, Gallagher can work as a more budget-friendly option, and so on. Serval with the passkey Lycone, which is a 3-star Lycone, will be able to use her ultimate frequently, which can assist with stacking more stacks of interpretation onto enemies, as well as gaining Herta back more energy. Remembrance Trailblazer is good for advancing forward Herta, as well as providing Herta mem support, so that Herta can now take advantage of true damage. As for premium options, you'd be looking at Anaxa, Tribi, Jade, and Lingsha as amazing options to pair alongside the Herta. Anaxa will implant every weakness onto enemies, and with qualitative disclosure inflicted onto enemies, he'll now be able to have higher attacking frequency as well. Tribi can provide the ult type res pen buff from her skill, and the field from her ultimate, which will now make enemies take more damage from the team. Tribby can synergize well with the Herta due to her gaining energy as well from allies attacking enemies similar to the Herta. And Tribby's follow-up attacks can assist with gaining back more energy for the Herta too, plus Tribby with Dance 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 can now advance forward the team as well. Jade can nicely hit all enemies with her follow-up attacks, which allows her to regain energy for the Herta at a nice rate. Lingsha has high AoE attacking frequency with her skill, ultimate follow-ups, and so on, which can assist with Jade attacking more frequently if Jade makes Lingsha the debt collector, as well as regain more energy for the Herta and Tribby. You can also use other supports as well on the Herta team, such as Robin, Rame, Kayla, and much more. The Herta is still an amazing DPS, especially due to her team flexibility when it comes to budget-friendly options or premium options, as well as also being able to handle all forms of endgame. For those that are considering the Herta's signature light cone, it can also be worth considering to pick up, as it'll make the skill point management of the team easier, as well as allow her to deal even more damage onto enemies now. As mentioned with Hyacine, the 4 stars on the banner are alright, although Serval's Eidolons are pretty nice to acquire, especially if you don't have them and want to use Serval with the Herta. Now for our second half of version 3.3, we have Cipher and Aglaea. Starting with Cipher, she's a Quantum Nihility character who increases the damage taken by enemies, which leads to higher damage potential from the team, and she can take advantage of follow-up attacks, and Cipher can record the damage dealt by allies and convert it into true damage. Starting with Cipher's basic attack, she'll deal damage onto a single enemy. As for Cipher's skill, she'll inflict damage onto an enemy in adjacents, as well as debuff those enemies. Now for Cipher's talent, it will apply a special mark to an enemy with the highest HP at the start of battle, and using her skill or her ultimate can move the mark to a different enemy on the field. Cipher will record the damage dealt to the marked enemy by allies and unleash a follow-up attack against the marked enemy as well. This now leads into Cipher's ultimate, where she'll deal quantum damage onto one designated enemy, and then Cipher will deal true damage based on the recorded value from her talent onto an enemy in adjacents. Cipher will be able to deal a nice chunk of damage onto enemies with her ultimate as long as the rest of the team is also contributing damage, so Cipher can record the damage dealt and then help the team out with her ultimate. It's a pretty cool team effort overall, as Cipher does rely on allies to further strengthen her ultimate. And it could be pretty cool to see Cipher nuke enemies with her ultimate too. It's also worth noting, if you do change the target that is marked, either by using her skill or ultimate, the recorded damage value will be retained. As for Cipher's technique, Cipher will be undetectable by enemies and her movement speed will also increase. And when approaching an enemy, there is a chance of immediately obtaining a random consumable. Cipher's kit allows for pretty interesting combinations for team synergies, as she'll be able to debuff enemies so the team can deal more damage onto them, which Cipher uses to her advantage to deal a bunch of damage with her ultimate, based on the recorded damage through her talent. When it comes to team synergies based on what we know about Cipher so far, it could be used on Acheron teams, Castris teams. There is a potential for Fei Xiao teams, as she does have a follow-up in her kit, and she can end up being a general character placed on teams due to her debuffing capabilities, as well as being able to deal adequate amounts of damage through her ultimate depending on what team you're using. For Cipher in particular, I will be releasing multiple showcases as well as a review before her release, so that there is a better idea of her performance before she comes out. But her kit can end up having nice potential overall, especially with the possibility of holding her ultimate to use during the second HP phase of a boss and dealing a bunch of damage onto them. So I'm pretty excited to test that out and see how it goes. As for her banners 4 stars, it'll be Shui, Xingxue, and Su Shang, which are alright options, especially if you want more Eidolons on them. Now when it comes to Aglaea, she's a Lightning Remembrance character who revolves around reaching high speeds in order to deal frequent attacks alongside her memosprite, the Garment Maker, and she's able to nicely buff herself after using her ultimate, which allows her to enter Supreme Stance and unleash a joint attack alongside the Garment Maker, which is her enhanced basic attack. Prior to using her ultimate, she'll be able to hit one enemy with her basic attack, and as for her skill, she'll be able to summon the Garment Maker as well as immediately take action again afterwards, or heal the Garment Maker if they're already on the field. When Aglaea uses her basic attack on an enemy, she'll afflict them with Seam Stitch, and when an enemy has Seam Stitch, the Garment Maker will prioritize attacking this enemy once it is the Garment Maker's turn, as the Garment Maker does automatically attack when it is their turn. Another thing worth noting is that whenever the Garment Maker attacks an enemy afflicted with Seam Stitch, the Garment Maker will gain a speed stack, which each stack gives the Garment Maker 55 speed, and you can have up to 6 stacks. So you can get a total of 330 additional speed for the Garment Maker with the maximum amount of stack. Aglaea will also be able to take advantage of the speed stacks when she uses her ultimate and enters Supreme Stance, as this allows her to gain 15% additional speed for each stack, and with the maximum stacks being 6, this can result in a 90% speed increase for Aglaea. So as a result, Aglaea will be able to reach, as I mentioned, incredibly high speeds with the speed stacks. Plus, once Aglaea uses her ultimate and now has the joint attack with the Garment Maker, now her attacks will also be able to gain a speed stack, which can allow you to get up to 6 stacks a bit faster. Some additional things worth noting about Aglaea's ultimate is that when she uses it, she will advance herself forward by 100%, which allows her to immediately attack again, to also gain a massive attack boost as well as thanks to one of her traces. And this attack boost is in relation to her speed as well as the Garment Maker, so she benefits even further from the additional speed from these stacks. Aglaea's Supreme Stance does have a countdown though, with its own speed set at 100, and Aglaea will exit the Supreme Stance state once this happens, which will require you to resummon the Garment Maker as well as work towards getting those speed stacks once again. Now what's nice though is that you can actually reset the countdown for her Supreme Stance by using her ultimate again before the countdown ends. Although it's definitely worth noting, and this is by far one of the most important things I have to note, Aglaea has a very massive energy cost of 350. So to have an easier time to extend the duration of her Supreme Stance, you will want characters on the team that can assist with generating her more energy. Her damage output will massively increase while in Supreme Stance, and she'll be able to unleash her enhanced basic attacks, gain a huge attack boost, be able to increase her speed alongside the Garment Maker with the speed stacks, which now allows her to attack far more frequently. As a result, her Supreme Stance state from her ultimate is incredibly important when it comes to her playstyle as well as damage output. And as mentioned, this makes characters who are able to provide Aglaea large amounts of energy as well as buffs that she desires very strong characters to use alongside her. 2 of these characters would have to be Sunday and Huohuo. Sunday and Huohuo are both able to provide Aglaea 70 energy with their ultimates, which is a huge contributor to being able to stay in Supreme Stance for as long as possible. Just for clarification for the energy provided by their ultimates, Sunday provides 20% of a character's maximum energy back, while Huohuo does the same but for the entire team. 20% of 350 is 70 energy, so if you have both of these characters, you'll be able to get back 140 energy with their ultimates. And what's nice about Huohuo being able to do this for the entire team is if you do have Sunday and Huohuo on an Aglaea team, now Sunday gets a little bit extra energy as well from Huohuo's ultimate, which now results in him getting his ultimate faster as well, which now results in Aglaea being able to take advantage of that for the additional energy that Sunday will provide. So it's basically just an energy party at that point. But another noteworthy thing regarding Sunday in particular is due to him being able to advance forward Aglaea as well as her memosprite and effectively allowing her to attack more frequently, this actually results in Aglaea being able to generate even more energy for herself with the additional attacking frequency provided by Sunday's advance forward. Sunday will also provide massive crit damage boost, 20% additional crit rate, and he is easily one of Aglaea's best partners since his kit provides many of the buffs she would highly take advantage of. Aglaea at E0 really wants someone on the team to be providing her energy, since if you do exit the Supreme Stance state, you will have to work towards getting her speed stacks once again, and of course now also re-entering Supreme Stance, which when you exit Supreme Stance, this will cause a downtime in relation to being able to use her enhanced basic attack, and as a result, you will be missing out on higher amounts of damage output. I would say that Aglaea as a damage dealer is a bit more on the expensive side if you don't have her premium supports, or you don't intend to pull her first Eidolon. especially in comparison to the Herta, who can use very budget-friendly characters, and I would say is overall more free-to-play friendly than Aglaea. The 4 stars on Aglaea's banner are Shui, Jingshui, and Sushang, which once again are alright options, especially if you want Eidolons on them. Now, when it comes to who to pull in version 3.3, this depends on what characters you already have on your account, as well as of course which character is your favorite from the bunch. If you have Castris, I would recommend considering Hyacine. If you're lacking a main damage dealer, the Herta is still a very strong option, especially due to her budget-friendly teams, which could be very useful for newer players. Cipher has interesting potential with her kits and can end up being a nice option to add onto your current teams. And as for Aglaea, she is also a strong option DPS-wise, but do keep in mind of her favoring certain premium supports, such as Sunday or even her first Eidolon, to have an easier time maintaining her supreme stance state. All of these options have their benefits in some way, depending on your account, and of course, pulling for your favorites and having fun with them is already a good enough reason to pull a character as well. Now, what I would recommend is if you're unsure about the second half characters, which are Cipher and Aglaea, I would recommend waiting until they reveal the 3.5 characters and the 3.4 livestream, as it'll give more details on the upcoming characters in 3.4, which would be Finan, Saber, and Archer. And you would have to wait roughly a week after Aglaea and Cipher release so that you can end up seeing the 3.5 characters, just who they are, and then also the 3.4 livestream. I would love to know though which character you are personally going for, and I hope you all did enjoy this video. If you did, consider subscribing to see more content from me, leave a like to support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.